Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Generation on Facebook Live. We are really happy to be back with you celebrating the theme of the month, animal welfare. And today we have our amazing intern, Kaylin Louie, who invited her former counselor to join us today to talk about the topic of animal welfare and how through volunteering we can help with this issue. So the floor is yours.
Okay, so this is Geoff, and could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm the director of College Bound, an organization called Chess in the Schools, and that's how I know Caitlin. I'm originally from Boston and have been an educator since the year 2000, first as a teacher, classroom teacher at the Beacon School, then as a sort of experiential educator with another organization up in Vermont, and joined College Bound a couple of years ago, and soon off to another organization called Breakthrough New York. And throughout all of this, I've been very interested in animal rights, and so that's, I guess, why I'm here.
Could you tell us a little bit about your background and knowledge of animal welfare? Like, what exactly is it?
Sure. Animal welfare is something that I kind of got interested in by accident because I was working as an environmental activist and became a vegetarian. And so obviously that's got a big intersection with animal rights. And so I kind of started learning about animal rights by accident. And, I think for a lot of people, there's an instinctive understanding of why animals should have rights, but that wasn't always the case. Historically, animals have not had rights, and the first sort of, at least European person to talk about it was a guy named Jeremy Bentham. He was a philosopher, and he said that we shouldn't base our understanding of whether or not somebody or something should have rights based on their intelligence. We should base it on their ability to suffer and whether or not they can suffer. And we all know, I think, that animals, if they're treated badly, they suffer. And so if we think of that as our basis for whether animals should have rights or not, I think it gets really, really clear about whether or not we should care about how animals are doing and how what we do affects animals.
So how does this look like today? Like, am I going to look around and see all these rights for animals? Like, is there anything that we should be knowing about for this?
Sure. Well, gosh, I think as with a lot of things, there's some progress in some ways, and then maybe we're retreating in others, right? So I think people probably treat their domestic animals better. But on the other hand, if you consider animal rights and animal welfare to include wilderness animals, then we're not doing such a great job, right? Exactly. The amount of wilderness is shrinking. And that's not an accident, right? We're doing stuff to make that happen. And so, for example, here in New York City, where the three of us live, there's been a lot of discussion in recent years about the carriage horses that a lot of us will see taking tourists and couples around Central Park and stuff like that. But there's a discussion about, how well are these animals treated? How often are they given breaks? And gosh, is it normal for a horse to be standing and walking on hard surfaces for hours and hours and hours? And from my perspective, no, it's not. And I think we can do a better job of protecting those animals. I just came back from Spain, and Spanish culture for hundreds of years has held bullfights. And I was in Pamplona and saw the arena where these bullfights are happening. And it's hard to talk to people about their culture without maybe insulting them and saying, gosh, you shouldn't be killing bulls. Like, who are you to come into my culture and tell me what to do? So sometimes it's a negotiation between cultures as well.
And one more thing is, for example, we don't see the relation into how much paper we consume on a daily basis and how many trees are being cut down, and then the deforestation, how it's impacting the animals living in that particular environment. When you mentioned the wildlife, that's one of the main issues huge deforestation is happening everywhere in the world, and that's affecting a lot of wildlife in the planet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're not living in a perfect world, and we still have a lot more to do with in terms of animal welfare.
And I think also, I think it's important for me to try and think about how my actions affect not just other people and the people that I care about, but also like take one step further. How does it affect people that I don't know, and how does it affect other beings that I don't know, and these animals, especially in the context of this conversation.
So, what are some of the steps you've taken to try to alleviate try to alleviate the problems that animals face?
Well, as I said, it really started with a very personal decision to become a vegetarian. And,
Tell a story about that.
and I think if we care about animals, I think it's difficult to argue that we should eat them if we don't need to. Right? I don't think most people would walk down the street and just kick an animal because they felt like it, right? And I think so. For me, my background in animal welfare started, as I said, being a vegetarian. And then pretty quickly after that, I started working on wilderness protection.
I see.
And that was with an organization, or sort of allied with an organization called Earth First. And I've also worked sort of alongside an organization called the Sea Shepherd Society that works with whales and porpoises and stuff like that to protect them. And to be honest, we were a little on the radical side, right? And so we tried to make sure that like the forests where all these animals were living weren't just like totally cut down and all of their trees erased. And sometimes that's tough, but and then I became a teacher. I taught a class on food and water. And that sort of lended itself to talking about cattle ranching in the United States and other places, and deforestation. One of the leading reasons why deforestation is happening, for example, in the Amazon, is because they're clearing all that land so that more cattle can be raised. And that cattle, it's all winding up in our bellies. Not my belly, but some people's bellies. And then little things like becoming an activist just by volunteering places and stuff like that too.
Can you tell us about some of the other places you volunteered?
Yeah, well, just a couple of weeks ago, there's an organization called the Billion Oyster Project, and they work out of Governor's Island, and it's this really neat organization that is trying to repopulate the oyster population in New York Harbor, not just for the animals, but also at the same time helping us humans out by cleaning the water. That's how oysters feed, right? They feed by cleaning the water. If we put 1 billion oysters into New York City Harbor, it'll be clean enough for all of us to go swimming in the harbor and go back.
So we need like 1 million of them.
Absolutely. So I've done some of that. There's a farm sanctuary outside of Ithaca, New York, that I've taken some students up. And we've done some volunteerism there, and those animals that are brought onto that farm sanctuary, a lot of the time they're rescued from farms that are closing down, or they've been mistreated. And so the idea is just to give these animals the protection and the sort of respect that they deserve, so that they can live out their lives peacefully.
I think you really make really good examples of how sometimes when we think about animal welfare and versus even domestic animals, when we think about usually animal welfare, we usually focus on the animals that we deal on a daily basis and that are living with us, but we don't see the relationship into our own actions, how that is a replication to other species and how it's affecting them. So also becoming like one, and the story that I had, I was a vegetarian for a couple of years. As a Latina background, it was a very difficult transition to do because we do consume a lot of meat. My family, everything is related to meat most of the time. So it was really hard for me, but also it was a good experience to learn what I eat, where I buy things, how I buy things is also a correlation to how animals are being affected in the world. So really thank you for making that relationship, because it's also important that our kids and youth, they understand that everything that we do, from printing a lot of paper to even not turning off the light in our house, can affect definitely the planet and also the animals.
Yeah, and it's funny. People think that it's difficult to become an activist. It's really not. Activist just means you're active, right? That you are taking some action. It might just be a small action, like maybe you're not ready to become a vegetarian, but maybe you skip Mondays, right? You have meatless Mondays, and so you're just reducing the amount of meat that you're consuming, or maybe you take notes on both sides of the paper instead of one side of the paper. So sometimes it's just a matter of just like a little incremental change that we can all start. And I think Gandhi, who's I think a hero to me, and lots of other people. One of the things that he said is that we have to start with ourselves.
Definitely.
And if we're an activist, it's really important not to point fingers at people unless we're pointing our finger first at ourselves.
That's interesting you said that. I never thought of being an activist. It's just, I put it as simple as being an actor of a cause that you care about.
But your point about, especially about vegetarianism and its relationship to culture, I mean, I became a vegetarian in 1992. And I was still a college student and going home for Thanksgivings. Boy, when my mom found out that I wasn't going to eat her turkey, she was really mad. And 20-something years later, my dad still tries to sneak meat on me.
Yes.
So basically, you can see how even like the smallest little thing, meatless Mondays, or just like cutting down on consumption of meat, like that all leads to animal welfare. For example, one of our clubs, actually one specific club member, forgive me if I pronounce your name wrong, Sid Versailles, he's a 10-year-old and he did pennies for parrots, and he was just collecting money for his local bird sanctuary, and he makes toys all the time for these different organizations. So there's really like so much you can do.
Definitely.
That's great.
And also we have other clubs that they focus on the environment, or like reducing the amount of plastic that we consume, because then plastic goes to the ocean or it goes to the wildlife, and that also is a repercussion, and that also goes to affect the animals in the world. So again, there are different ways that we can think and look at the relationship between what we do, our relationship with the planet, and how it's affecting other species.
And I think one of the things that I work to teach students when they're trying to figure out if they want to be an activist, if they're going to be an activist, how they become an activist, is that activism can be fun. Right?
Yes.
A lot of people, when they hear like protest, they think, oh gosh, I don't want to be one of those people who's always bringing people down. And there's this really wonderful movie that I always suggest for sort of young activists to go watch, called The Yes Men Save the World. And
Yes Men Save the World.
Yeah, it's these two guys, they call themselves the Yes Men, and they're just sort of pranksters, and they pull these jokes that wind up having this really powerful social message, and it just goes to show you that being an activist or being somebody who wants to promote change, it's not just about telling people you're doing the wrong thing. It's about having fun, building community too.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted to do to volunteering, and also I'm pretty happy you mentioned that, because as a volunteer, you also are an activist because you are acting on an issue that you care.
Sure.
Do you have any other ways that you can get involved?
Yeah, I mean, I think the very first thing is sort of similar to what I just mentioned, is that we all have to do a better job of educating ourselves, right? And so there are so many great books and documentary films out there, thinking about some more popular films that have come out in recent years, something like Blackfish.
Oh my God, that made me cry.
Very powerful.
Wow. Yeah.
About these orcas that are being kept, or were being kept at SeaWorld. I think they've stopped doing it now, largely because of this film and the reaction to it. There's another film that can be tough to watch called Maximum Tolerated Dose, which is about animals who are being used for experimentation. in laboratories, and not just like cancer research, but for makeup and hair products and stuff like that. And gosh, do we really need to poison these animals in order to do this? So like educating ourselves, and then we can all vote with our money. We can use the system that we're in, this capitalist system that we're in, to say, gosh, this organization is doing the right thing. I'm going to spend my money to support that organization. So I'm going to maybe buy cage-free eggs from a cage-free organization instead of buying the cheapest eggs or something like that. So sometimes, maybe you devote a little bit of your money to doing the right thing. Again, little things like if you're going to adopt a pet, if you want a cute dog or a cute bird or bunny or something like that, don't buy them from a pet store. There are all of these animals that have been rescued that are in shelters. And so like there's the ASPCA or the Society for Protection of Animals or gosh, lots of different organizations where they can get you for free these animals that are just so in need of loving homes, and they'll spay or neuter them.
That was my follow-up.
And that's super important. We all have to spay or neuter our pets.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely important to just like go out and see what you can do, because it's something that every single person can do. Do you want to mention some of the organizations?
For sure. So other organizations that you can go and check them out are the American Society for Prevention of Animals, that he mentioned recently, the ASPCA, and also People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA. Those two are very well-known organizations, and they really focus on the treatment of animals. But again, remember, the choice starts with you, with educating yourself and being an activist, meaning taking action. And definitely through volunteering and creating projects, you can definitely address this issue. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, Kaylin and Geoff, for joining us today for our Facebook Live. I really hope that this conversation has been inspirational for all of you, and that you create really very inspiring and I have the word on top of my mouth, but I forgot. But it's okay. It's live. Inspiring and important, impactful projects in your communities. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.